Hello everybody, welcome back.
And here's what happened last time.
One so loud that I believe practically everyone heard
I did
it.
hear that thud.
Huh?
Aren't you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
The House of the Hearth?
Where did you actually go while the trick was being performed?
Let's hear your answer first.
We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent. As soon as I reached that room and was about to investigate, I heard someone's voice. Which should have been impossible, of course.
Therefore, he's innocent.
Guards, please step into the lounge and examine the personal effects of the deceased, Cowell.
The notebook in his
Fluid.
backpack claims that these fluids are water from the primordial sea. The keyword dissolve appears
no.
many times. One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date.
What?
It is empty.
Oh, Paimon gets it. It all comes together if Halsey disappeared instead of being kidnapped.
If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case's seemingly
gosh.
unrelated clues can be connected together.
Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordial sea.
Oh gosh. You know, I feel like I didn't do this much thinking in Mondstadt and Liyue and Inazuma. But in Sumeru and Fontaine, they are testing my brain. Oh gosh.
Paimon's time to shine again.
Want to drink the seawater so bad? No, don't drink the seawater. Comparing Fontaine Sumeru writing to Inazuma makes me laugh. Yeah. They had some cool cutscenes though in Inazuma.
In the original plan,
Besides just
Cowell
being
would
like,
camp
so
out
you're
the
gonna
water
fight the
table,
war for us?
and the number selector
Cool.
securing his target. When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box.
Oh.
When the balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the primordial seed inside it would pour down and dissolve Halsey.
I'm so glad they didn't pick me for this.
Cowell would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel, with the remaining evidence being covered up by the water tank on stage. But he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank he meant to use to cover his tracks.
Huh. That does make sense.
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely accused an innocent
Aw.
person? What a humiliation.
Why do I feel kind of bad for her right now?
Now, it seems
She's
like
been
the
so
only
mean
point
this
of
whole time, and I'm
contention
like,
remaining
oh,
is
sad
the
Archon.
exact circumstances that led to Cal's death. His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related to the situation.
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that they uncovered new evidence.
New evidence?
I shall now invite him on stage to share it with us.
We were just inspecting the luggage of the other people involved in this case, and we found an identical sample of the water from the primordial sea
Oh
among Lyney's
no,
personal effects.
Lyney!
What?
That can't be.
Oh.
I see. Well,
It was going so well.
comedic to have your own counterattack only to come back and wound you. Does this not clear all doubt?
Oh gosh, okay, we're back into the refutation.
Lyney did not need to take part in the dissolution of the young woman at all. Indeed, he did leave the scene via the vent, having made modifications to the props beforehand. His
Lyney just
accomplice
wanted to
Cowell
sip.
then caused Halsey to vanish upon his return in cruel avarice. Lyney desired sole credit and prepared to do away with his partner.
Oh
in
gosh,
crime.
this is not looking good for us.
He knocked Cowell out, and the tool meant to cover the crime up also became a murder weapon. Now, as much as I regret having come to such a viciously straightforward conclusion, it does seem that the famed Fatui is quite the cold-blooded and ruthless organization.
We've used up all the evidence we collected. There's
Oh,
no way
no.
for us to make a rebuttal here. Is this the end of the road?
No, it can't be the end of the road. Oh no.
Oh no. Paimon can't think of anything either. It doesn't look like there's any way around this. water as new evidence was too good a move. Why did this have to happen now?
I believe this is indeed the finale.
Oh no.
Now then, my good, noble Chief Justice, should we not, in your view, move...
Excuse me, everyone, but I must interject.
Yes,
Miss,
go Navia.
I must ask you not to shout.
I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like to take a little break from all this debate and see a little magic? One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh, right before your very eyes. Please, do the honors, Mr. Lyney, if you would be so kind.
What in the world is she saying?
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond my scope as a magician.
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? It often conceals
What's going
the truth while
on?
presenting a fascinating illusion.
I love this part of the Eras tour.
Everyone believes the illusion. Can't magic reveal the truth to them once again? And wouldn't such a trick be the most marvelous finale to today's performance? Come on, Lyney and Lynette. Give it another go.
I understand.
Is she pranking them out?
And voila.
I hope not. I mean, I hope so, but also... What?
Sorry for the interruption.
Wait, isn't that Halsey? So the whole thing about people dissolving wasn't true after all?
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence. I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial.
What?
I was just
What's
feeling happy
happening?
that no one had noticed me. And then before I knew it, she caught me. I'm sorry.
Huh?
I'm the one who killed Cowl. I admit it.
What? Why?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian, and I'm originally from Mondstadt. I heard that Lyney's show was gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket, so I stole one. That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there. And I'd never been caught before. But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away.
Oh my gosh.
Lyney was the one who caught me in the act.
Hey, no wonder you look familiar. So you were the thief!
And I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector chose me. He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was onto me for sure. So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee. But then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to nab me. I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box.
Tough lady.
So I had to change my clothes and hide in a box containing performance costumes.
What?
I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the opera house.
Can a person even hide in there?
If they're a practice hand at concealment, probably.
But I swear, I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Really, I swear it. Had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief, but I'm no killer.
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
Whoa.
This time,
Huh?
we need to tell the entire story from Lillian's perspective.
Having been
Good.
selected out of the blue, Lillian panicked. Her panic only intensified after she entered the tunnel and had water poured on her head. So she kicked the door open, producing the thud we all heard. Hearing the commotion, Cowl leapt into the tunnel, only to discover that Lillian had not dissolved. He did not know that Lillian was not from Fontaine, but was a thief who made her way in by stealing a ticket. Mistakenly believing that the water from the primordial sea needed time to take effect, he tried to force Lillian back into the box. Lillian came out on top.
Wow, we love strong women.
With no way of escaping, she changed her clothes and hid in the costume trunk until the performance ended.
Wow, amazing.
She knew that she would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward. So, she has been trapped in the opera house these last 2 days.
My gosh.
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons.
Whoa.
So, she swiped 2 of them right under our noses.
Amazing.
Talk about a sneaky thief.
At this point, all the events that happened in the have now come to life.
Oh.
Now then, Lady Farina, do you wish to speak against the defense's statements? Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before the proceedings have concluded.
These people are cheering as if they weren't cheering for Lyney to be guilty, right? They'll cheer for anything.
What? Are you reading my mind now? No. I have no further arguments. I admit defeat. But really, could you at least have left me with some dignity?
Wow. Look
Nice.
at that. She's
Yeah.
like a deflated balloon now.
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again repeat the full sequence of events. The actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list. With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman would be chosen. To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowell thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind after the young woman was dissolved. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the watermarks. He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box and stuck it to the box's lid. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said box. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine, and thus fled the box with a loud noise. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Lillian. Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided to proceed. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought.
Yeah, get him, Lillian.
Overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box, and thus became his own final victim.
Wow.
Lillian, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended.
Easy.
From this reconstruction of events, we can conclude that Lyney, the accused, is in fact innocent.
Woo!
This case, at least, can be handed over to the Oratrice to make the final decision.
What is it? I've seen that animation before somewhere. What does it say?
As such, Lyney and Lynette are officially declared not guilty.
Let's not celebrate just yet.
I think we deserve an explanation, Guard Vaughn. How did you find the water from the primordial sea?
Yeah, what's up with
in
that,
Lyney's
dude?
baggage?
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know.
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Lyney, but you, yes? I'm sure
Are
you
you
know
a
what
woman
you must
dissolver
do
too?
to lessen your sentence.
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a one-way ticket to Coupon Town.
I was just following orders. We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Lyney, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher-ups said this was the best opportunity to do so.
This
That
is
your
deep.
plan
This is
has
a lot
fallen
deeper than we
through,
thought.
And the secrets of the water have been revealed, you have become a liability to said higher-ups, yes? Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know and seek the protection of the guards.
Yes, I'll tell you everything I know. The water can cause people to dissolve. It can also be made into a potion, which when extremely diluted, can cause people to experience unforgettable exhilaration. We've been in this business for a while now, and have made decent mora off it. The disappearances were also the boss's idea. I mean, this is the boss we're talking about. The...
Whoa. He turned into water.
And now he can no longer talk.
Such ruthlessness. I shouldn't have expected
Whoa.
An outrageous act. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
We're just going back now?
Problem seems to have been solved for now.
true, but...
Traveler, Paimon, please wait.
Lyney...
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want to look at me, but still. Let me thank you again for defending me to the end. Even after you learned that I'm a member of the Fatui.
I just didn't want to see Lynette be falsely accused.
I guess. But regardless, I'd like the opportunity to set things straight. I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an orphan like me. That's all. That was how Father,
Don't pull the
who
orphan
you might know
card.
as the Knave, approached recruiting us back then too.
The Knave? The one who controls the House of the Hearth? She's your father?
That's right. And since we're here, I was wondering, would you mind hearing a story? It's about my past. Back when our parents first died, Lynette and I were left wandering the streets. To survive, I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did magic. I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded corner, and we began to perform magic tricks there. To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular, and we could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would come from for a time. But I didn't want my sister to remain a street rat together with me forever.
Aww.
Before long, an aristocrat came to me and claimed that he wished to take us in after watching my performances. I gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he was really after my talent for magic tricks. He would constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to garner attention, which he would then use to expand his social circles. After one particular performance at a banquet, I discovered that Lynette was not on the same return vehicle as me. I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. I went to that noble's bedroom and asked him about her whereabouts. The answer he gave me was, she caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent her over as a gift. I mean, you'll be able to perform your magic regardless of who your assistant is, yes?
That's so messed up.
No.
Villains.
I managed to ferret out the location of the mansion of that so-called eminent person and hurried through the night. But by the time I leaped over the walls, avoided the guards, and made my way in, all I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood. And the Knave standing there in the darkness. She had rescued my sister before she could come to any harm.
She doesn't sound so
And
bad.
had discovered several girls hidden in the basement.
That doesn't sound so bad to me.
Father, I mean, the Knave, might have seen something in me, and so she made me an offer. The House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours. Here, none will ever betray you. Indeed, betrayal shall never be permitted here.
That's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
The Knave is after the Gnosis, isn't she?
Has her own plans. She has gained permission from the Sarita to first use the Gnosis' power once she obtains it. She plans to use it to find a way to break the prophecy and save Fontaine.
So, she believes in that prophecy too?
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth
sound like
is
the worst
currently
person,
working to
I'm not
combat
gonna
that
lie.
crisis.
I mean, I know she's a Fatui,
Today's
but
case
like...
has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some sort of water, thus further supporting the prophecy. I just hope you can understand that even as a member of the House, I have never stopped making my own decisions, and that I believe what I'm doing is right. I will do my best to help you, as plain Lyney.
I understand. Oof. Oof. Oh.
Bye, Lyney! Were you looking for us, Navia?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting closer to solving the serial disappearances case, though. Don't you think so, too? Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
I was really only trying to defend Lyney.
Besides, are you sure we're the ones who can crack a case that's been cold for decades now? And given that there's new evidence from the trial, there should be a trail of breadcrumbs for the Hydro Archon's people to follow now, right?
Ah.
Oh, I don't want to disappoint her.
I won't
She looks so sad.
I'm a little shocked to hear that from you. But I suppose you are just travelers who have only arrived in Fontaine after all. Sorry. I might have been too presumptuous.
Don't say that, Navia.
Aw, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too. Wait, shall we have a farewell meal? You know, to commemorate our time as partners?
Huh? Do we really need to get that formal?
Well, I just like to have a proper ending to every important memory. That way there are no regrets later. Anyway,
She's so sweet.
it would just be a meal, so it shouldn't take up too much of your time.
Let's go have a meal then.
You don't have to twist Paimon's arm.
Oh, wonderful. In that case, why don't we return to the Court of Fontaine and head to the Hotel de Boer?
Alright then, let's have our farewell meal.
I am going to wrap up here for today. I hope you had fun. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye, everybody!